Welcome to Daily Variety, your daily dose of news and analysis for entertainment industry insiders. It's Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. I'm your host, Cynthia Littleton. I am co-editor-in-chief of Variety alongside Ramin Satuda. I'm in LA, he's in New York, and Variety has reporters around the world covering the business of entertainment. In today's episode, we'll unpack this week's Variety cover story on Severance star Tramell Tillman with Variety Chief Awards Editor Clayton Davis. Marc Malkin brings us a Just for Variety red carpet segment on the Nobody 2 premiere with some fun quips from Bob Odenkirk and Sharon Stone. And then I'll offer up another Variety slanguage lesson. This time we'll explore the differences among our signature superlatives, boffo, whammo, and socko. But before we get to that, here are a few headlines just in this morning that you need to know. AI giant Perplexity has made an unsolicited offer of $34.5 billion for Google's Chrome browser business. That is a big bet that the federal government's push to break up parts of Google will continue. Writer-director Park Chan-wook has responded to his expulsion from the Writers Guild of America. The Guild says he violated strike rules in 2023 by working on the HBO Robert Downey Jr. series, The Sympathizer. I have never violated any rules, Park Chan-wook says in a statement. Good coverage on all of this right now on Variety.com from Variety's Gene Mattis. A licensing deal that is a sign of the times. Disney has struck a pact with Webtoon Entertainment to license major characters, including Spider-Man, Captain America, and Darth Vader for use as webtoons. Those are online graphic novels, and again, go to Variety.com if you want to learn all about them. And finally, in news that is making my dreams come true, Daryl Hall and John Oates have settled their legal dispute. The longtime musical partners went at it publicly 2 years ago over Hall's efforts to sell his half of their songwriting catalog to Primary Wave. No word yet on where that deal stands. All of these stories and so much more can be found right now on Variety.com. Now we turn to conversations with Variety journalists about news and trends in show business. In this week's cover story segment, Clayton Davis remembers everything about his very memorable time with Severance star Tramell Tillman. He's delivered us quite a portrait of an actor on the cusp. Clayton Davis, thanks for coming on today.
Cynthia Littleton. Glad to be here.
Did you deliver us a cover story or what? Dear listeners, run to your newsstand, run to Variety.com, because Clayton Davis's profile of Tramell Tillman of Severance is not to be missed. Drop everything, go read it. Clayton, reading this story, I was moved from the very beginning. Tell me where you met Tramell, what he was like in the interview. Set the scene for me.
I got to interview him back in my native state of New York. And I just want to say, I think the best of me comes out when I'm in New York City. We filmed him at this place downtown on a rooftop, interior, inside. Saw him do like 4 outfit changes. He was a natural in front of the camera. Britt Lauer, his co-star from Severance, compared him to an orchestra in my piece. And it's because he can just do anything. He's probably one of the most multi-talented people I think I've met. He's a good, kind soul. And that's like hard sometimes to find in this business. Best job I have in the world is being able to work at Variety because you don't get to meet very many Tramell Tillmans.
And the best part of the best job in the world is when you can profile or do a key story for somebody at an inflection point in their career. And you can just be a little bit of a rocket booster for somebody who's so talented. I've had that pleasure many times. It's really meaningful. Let me ask you about Tramell's background. He burst onto the screen in Severance a couple of years ago, but prior to that, he didn't have a ton of experience in film and TV, correct?
In Hollywood years, he's one of the newer kids on the block. It reminds me of when Danielle Deadweiler burst onto the scene a few years ago with Till. We may have seen her a couple times, and Tramell had a little bit of a, like, that guy that we had seen around, but, mostly unknown. And he lands this role when they wrote the role of Seth Milchick, it wasn't specifically Black. It was pretty wide open. And then when he got the audition call, then they were asking for a Black man. So by the time it got to him, they had decided that it would be a Black person. And everyone that speaks about him and looking at his come ups, he was born in Maryland, comes from a very big family, youngest of 6, went to HBCU schools, very good student. Then he graduated top of his class with his MFA at University of Tennessee, first Black person to attend that acting program, and was top of the class. The guy just really exudes the passion for the business. He cares about his craft. He wants to get better. And what I love so much about him, he doesn't quite know how great he is yet. And that is one of the most endearing qualities.
Well, the Emmy nomination is a big hint for an actor to come out of nowhere, even in a big show. There's a lot of competition in Severance, but he landed a nomination for supporting drama actor, so well deserved. You used the word interior earlier, and that is so perfect. You get so inside of his psyche. Even with somebody open in an interview, how did you get there? How did you feel the comfort to write it with such authority that you did?
Well, thank you for that. Mostly, I get this question a lot from other journalists who will say, like, how do you get these types of interviews from people? How do you get them to open up so much? And very early on, I had made a decision that I was never going to talk to a celebrity like a celebrity. If you look at them as people and they're just, Tramell from the block or Tramell from the scene, and you really take out the celebrity, because I think that's what celebrity, quote unquote, they want to be looked at as people and not as celebrities. So when I was talking with Tramell, I felt a great advantage of writing about him because I felt like a lot of people don't know a lot about him. They know him as Milchick from Severance, but that's all they know.
Right.
They know that he's an openly gay man, and I didn't want to, make it about just this coming out story, but the way he tells that story, he talks about the evolution of it, of, what he was like as a child and not even really realizing that. And then coming to terms with that as an adult, talking to his mother, who was his best friend, at first coming out as bisexual, and then later on as gay, interviewing someone who's listening and getting to those moments and really honing in on what he is pulling from, the way he would look across the room and he would recall the moment. There's a difference between getting personal and getting salacious. Talking about a love life or who you're dating, that's tabloid stuff. When someone is willing to be open like that, you can catch those special moments that you can't get anywhere else. And maybe a lot of it's because we come from the same background. I'm half Puerto Rican, half Black. He's a Black man, grew up on the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast. So even something as like, what did you call your living room? Did you call it the front room? That's a very big thing in Black culture. And he was like, I didn't hear about front room until I got to college. Those types of things really allow connection. And you should seek connection in the little things that finds our common ground.
Well, I think that this is a portrait of Tramell Tillman that is going to stand for a very long time. 2 little bits that I loved. Clearly, he comes from a strong family because he talks about playing Uno. I love Uno. It's my go-to baby gift because at some point, everybody with a child should get on the floor and play Uno.
But Cynthia, do you play with stacking rules? That's a very important question.
Usually a traditionalist. Occasionally, we go a little crazy. Another tidbit, again, don't want to spoil it entirely, but Tramell made a significant contribution to the incredible season 2 finale of Severance, and I will let you read in the story what that was, but it's a great little insight into how that episode all came together.
He's not only a gift to the show, but he's someone to really watch in this business. It really reminds me of Sterling K. Brown. I'm ready for it.
Clayton, thank you so much as ever for delivering a great piece.
Thank you, boss.
Next up, we have Marc Malkin with the Just for Variety red carpet segment. Marc dished with Bob Odenkirk and Sharon Stone on Monday at the Nobody 2 premiere.
Thanks, Cynthia. Bob Odenkirk's latest vacation has taken a deadly turn. A very deadly turn. The Better Call Saul star was on the blue carpet Monday night for the premiere of Nobody 2, the sequel to his hit 2021 action comedy. He returns as secret assassin Hutch. This time around, he's on vacation with his family at a water park when he unexpectedly crosses paths with an evil bootlegger played by Sharon Stone. Odenkirk told me he sent a note to Stone asking her to sign on to play the villain after they met for the first time at the Golden Globes.
We needed a big villain, a big presence, a big personality. I wondered if Sharon would be willing to be that big, and she said yes, and you could see what she does. She owns the third act entirely.
Stone said her work was inspired by real-world problems.
There's a lot of pent-up feelings about a lot of things that I put on the screen. Yeah, I'm not.
So it's therapeutic for you.
Yeah, I'm not real happy with what comes out of social media, and I wanted to portray that, the cruelty, the lack of any sort of care or sense of responsibility.
Any empathy. There's no empathy.
No empathy.
Nobody 2 is in theaters Friday, August 15th. Meanwhile, Stone also revealed that she begins shooting Euphoria Season 3 in just a couple of weeks. What drew you to Euphoria?
I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of all of the kids that are on that show, past and present. And I feel they've hit something that's really, really important.
It was tough for me to watch at the beginning.
It should be, but it's something that we do need to see and understand. And I think it's really important, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Now let's take time out for a quick slanguage lesson. Slanguage is Variety's zingy and zany slang words that we've used for more than a century. Today, let's go through some of our signature superlatives. Boffo, spelled B-O-F-F-O, is the most resonant in culture. It means outstanding. Boffo, B-O, means a film brought in great box office. But we do have a scale. Boffo is good, but whammo, W-H-A-M-M-O, is even better. It means sensational, off the charts, beating all expectation. And then socko, S-O-C-K-O, means very good. Here's a representative use of boffo from a story on Sophie Tucker from 1943. When Sophie Tucker bows out of the Copacabana NY Nightery after 6 weeks of boffo biz, she'll be followed by Jimmy Durante February 25th. And here's an example of whammo from 1949. We wrote Ink Spots whammo in London opening. The Ink Spots opened to smash biz at the Palladium Monday. Originally booked for 3 weeks, their advance was so big that the engagement was extended another week even before they opened. Socko was the first of these terms to appear in our pages in 1931. Then came whammo in 1936. Boffo followed in 1938. Now you know the difference. Trust me when I say at Variety, we always strive for whammo in all that we do. As we close out today's episode, here's a few things we're watching for. Here's a panel of CEO titans that's not to be missed. John Malone will sit down with Barry Diller, Mike Freese, and David Zaslav on September 4th at the Paley Center for Media in New York. Malone is promoting his new memoir, Born to be Wired. Also not to be missed on Variety.com is my colleague Pat Saperstein's great story on the LA filming locations used in Freakier Friday. Sadly, lensing a major feature in LA is a real rarity these days. Before we go, congrats to Kevin Costner. He will be honored with the Eva Monley Award from the Location Managers Guild International. The Guild's annual gala is set for August 23rd in Santa Monica. Thanks for listening. This episode was written and reported by me, Cynthia Littleton, with contributions from Clayton Davis and Marc Malkin. It was edited by Aaron Greenwald. Stick Snakes Hick Picks. Please leave us a review at the podcast platform of your choice, and please tune in tomorrow for another episode of Daily Variety.